Hello, and welcome to the second episode of Tales from the Malware Lab, powered by GREYCORTEX. Today, we're going to talk about Zusy. Zusy is a malware that comes from an infected PowerPoint file. So, why do we care about this if we all know that we can avoid infections like this by not enabling macros and not clicking links in PowerPoint files? We care because Zusy infects the network without having to do either of those things. Here's how it works. So let's say you get a PowerPoint file in your email. Perhaps it's from a trusted source, or perhaps it's labeled invoice or payment or whatever. So you open it. Phase 1 of the attack involves gaining access to your machine. When the PowerPoint file is opened, it shows a screen with a single link that says loading, please wait. When you hover over this URL, that's when the magic happens. It causes the PowerPoint to execute an external program, in this case a PowerShell plus a small script which downloads an additional payload. However, the malicious code doesn't execute automatically as soon as the file is opened. Instead, in both Office 2010 and Office 2013, you get a warning. Now, like many users, there's a good chance that you or the person opening this file on your network may click through the warning. That's when Phase 2 starts to happen. Phase 2 downloads the encrypted trojan files and creates a spike in CPU usage, which lasts from between 2 to 3 minutes. The trojan files are banking trojans called Gootkit or OldTard. Gootkit is a Trojan horse that steals confidential information. It also opens a backdoor and downloads additional files onto the compromised computer. OldTard is another Trojan that may also open a backdoor to the compromised machine. We're not able to see these files directly because the communication is encrypted. So how can we find this attack if we don't have a signature or we weren't able to see the files themselves? Does Zusy do something once it gets into the network? Actually, yes, it does a couple of things. The first is repetitive communication. Here we can see that there was repetitive connection over port 45,000 every 1 minute during an hour with an IP address based in Russia. Now, obviously communication with Russia is not suspicious in and of itself, but when that communication happens in a periodic way, that becomes suspicious. Secondly, a Microsoft encoded script file. This appears when you hover over the link and release the malware. This is suspicious because the source code is hidden within the script. If someone wants to hide from an antivirus or known threat detection tool, this is one of the ways they might use to make that happen. Finally, a self-signed SSL certificate. The author of this malware created a certificate for SSL encryption and used default values to identify the certificate. That's suspicious. Normally, these authentication measures are created and signed so that both parties are identifiable to each other. Here, that hasn't happened. It's a certificate without a name, so the communication is encrypted, but we don't know by whom. These three events are good indicators of an infection, and now we can see what the Trojan is doing inside the network. We hope you've enjoyed episode 2 of Tales from the Malware Lab, powered by GREYCORTEX. To see more of these episodes, don't forget to subscribe. Tune in next time, and we'll talk about mobile malware.